In a possible sign from above, lightning has struck the Vatican just hours after Pope Benedict XVI announced his surprising resignation. Footage shot shows the top of St. Peter's Basilica being struck by lightning during a thunderstorm over the Vatican.
Well, we don't know what this means, but we can show you an extraordinary photograph of an extraordinary lightning strike at the Christ the Redeemer statue that towers over the city of Rio. More than just an outburst of nature, it apparently caused damage.
And he said unto them, I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven.
An earthquake was felt on Saturday morning in southern and central Israel at around 10:30 a.m., a 4.1 magnitude on the Richter scale. The earthquake's epicenter was in Jordan, near the border with Israel, some 35 kilometers southeast of Mitzpe Ramon.
And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon.
President of the State of Israel and the Prime Minister. Me alegra poder.
Baruch haba b'shem Adonai. Baruch ata b'sharei Yerushalayim. הוד קדושתך, הגעת למדינת ישראל, בחיים היום בני דתות ובני לאומים שונים, יהודים, נוצרים, מוסלמים, דרוזים וצ'רקסים. ישראל מקיימת שלום בתוכה ושואפת לשלום עם שכניה.
Bienvenido a Israel, Your Holiness, in the heart of the Middle East, the turbulent and violent Middle East, where Christians are often persecuted. Israel is an island of tolerance. We safeguard the rights of all faiths. We guarantee freedom of worship for all.
Francis visited some of the holiest and haunting sites for Jews, praying at Jerusalem's Western Wall, leaving a note with the Our Father prayer in his native Spanish. He called for peace and love between religions while in the iconic Dome of the Rock Shrine, the 3rd holiest site in Islam. Francis recognized the Jewish roots of the Christian faith while meeting with Israel's chief rabbis and laid a wreath for the founder of modern Zionism. Israeli President Shimon Peres said Francis' visit will help pave the way to peace with Palestinians. During his whirlwind trip to the Holy Land, the Pope made a surprise invitation to the Israeli and Palestinian presidents to come to the Vatican next month to pray for peace. Both leaders accepted.
The quickness of the pace of this consolidation of Christians, Jews, and Muslims that Pope Francis has been able to accomplish in just a matter of 72 hours. It's unbelievable. Is he going to be able to broker a one world peace agreement, a covenant with many? And is he in the process of bringing about a one world religion?
Barack Obama thanked workers at Ground Zero for helping to reconstruct the hollowed ground. The hollowed ground. The President and First Lady Michelle Obama signed one of the final steel beams. Construction workers looked on as the President wrote, "We remember, we rebuild, we will come back stronger."
When the World Wide Web came into existence, World Wide Web was abbreviated by 3 English letters, www.com. Now, it was noted, and I noted this immediately, that in the Hebrew language, the W is a vav, because a vav can be a V or a W in the Hebrew language. Oddly enough, the vav is the numerical value in gematria in Hebrew of the letter vav is 6. So, if you have World Wide Web, go ahead, guys, you translate it to the Hebrew language, guess what it is? It's simply 666.
President wrote, "We remember, we rebuild, we will come back stronger."
Is a distinctive architectural feature of an Islamic mosque. It resembles a small balcony going around the spire in which those in the community of Islam go to the highest point. Did you hear me? Listen, the highest point in order to call Islam to worship. Well, guess what the highest building in the U.S. is, folks? The One World Freedom Tower. And guess what's around the top of the spire? And I will prove it. Upside down and right side up pyramids all around the top. And then the spire goes up from that, and guess what's right on top of it? A minaret. And what is a minaret? Let me tell you what the function is. The function of a minaret, in addition to providing a visual cue to the Muslim community, the main function of the minaret is to provide a vantage point from which to call to prayer, or adhan is made. The building itself there is on ground zero, there has been built and there is currently existing on ground zero a Muslim mosque on ground zero. Okay? Did y'all know that? Okay, there is an exact replica of the Kaaba, which is in Mecca, which is a big above ground square chunk of granite. It's a square piece of granite. It's above ground, and it has walls all the way around it in a square. And it's in Mecca, and that's where Islam goes to worship. Well, if you took that same exact thing from Mecca, that whole area that they worship in, and you sliced under it with a big serrated knife, and you cut underneath the Kaaba, and you cut it all out, and you picked it up with your hand, and you turned it upside down and stuffed it into the ground at 9/11, then you've got an exact replication of what is in Mecca. But it's been turned upside down. They stuffed it in the ground. So they put the big Kaaba down into the ground, and they have a big black granite cube in the ground.
And then they built the One World Freedom Tower. Now, what did they put at the top of this tower? They put a beam at the top, and Obama signed the beam, and he wrote the words, "We remember, we rebuild, and we come back stronger." WWW is va va va. Hebrew is alphanumeric. It equals 666. So at the top of this building is a beam that has 666 on it, and it has an image of a big brain, which is the letter O for One World Freedom Tower. So they're saying now there's one collective consciousness. Look at the way this thing's built. You see the upside down pyramid right here, and the right side up pyramid, and the whole thing is a mirror. As above, so below. So they're mocking you. This is a representation with the spire and the minaret around it of the largest symbol of Islam in the Western Hemisphere. This is a tribute to Islam. Down at the bottom here they have the reflecting pool. So if I went under there and I turned the whole thing upside down and shoved it down into the ground at the One World Freedom Center, then you have Mecca, the Kaaba at the One World Freedom Center, you have 666 on the top, you have a spire which stands for Marshall
like martial power, martial law, Sharia law, and you have a minaret, which is the call to worship Islam. This is the end of the road. This is Islam over the United States. Remember the controversy? They said they were going to put a mosque at Ground Zero? They did. And there's a mosque on the property, by the way. Judgment's coming to this country, and this is it. Barack Hussein Obama's it.
We are no longer a Christian nation.
We do not consider ourselves a Christian nation.
The United States has been enriched by Muslim Americans. Since our founding, American Muslims have enriched the United States. Islam has always been a part of America's story. Let me speak as clearly and as plainly as I can. America is not and never will be at war with Islam.
President Obama called for a new U.S. role on the world stage.
So we have to shape an international order that can meet the challenges of our generation.
Echoing a phrase made famous by the first President Bush.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order.
The international order we seek is one that can resolve the challenges of our time.
We had a worldview, Republican and Democratic presidents alike, from Harry Truman to George Bush. President Bush said, and it's a phrase that I often use myself, that we needed a new world order.
A new world order.
The international order we seek is one that can resolve the challenges of our time.
An order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
Supernis luminaribus misceatur, flammas eius, Lucifer matutinus inveniat, ille in quam Lucifer qui nescit occasum, Christus filius tuus, qui regressus ab inferis, humano generis serenus iluxit, et tecum vivit et regnat in saecula